Hey, what's going on, Yasharala? This is your boy, Yash 1. We will continue in the great book of Leviticus. We're on chapter 25. And this is a pretty long chapter. This might take about 15 20 minutes, but, let's go ahead and get started. And Yah spake unto Moshe in Mount Sinai, so they're still in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharala, and say unto them, When you come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Shabbat unto Yah. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Shabbat of rest unto the land, a Shabbat for Yah. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. That which groweth of it on a quarter of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land. See, and this is something we continually rape the planet, But like I said, man, the nations wasn't given the word. We're supposed to be doing it, but since we were stripped of the word, that's why the world is in chaos now. Mother Nature backlashes, all kinds of earthquakes and tornadoes and the backlashes. And the Shabbat of the land shall be meat for you, for thee, and for thy servant, and for thy maid, and for thy hired servant, and for the stranger that sojourneth with thee, and for thy cattle, and for the beasts that are in thy land shall all the increase thereof be meat. And thou shalt number 7 Shabbats of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the 7 Shabbats of years shall be unto thee 49 years. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you. And ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. So, even if you had like maid servants or servants back then, even if they was your maid, you're supposed to return them to their family. It's just like with slavery. You had a certain amount of time to have that slave, and there's also some rules to it. I forgot, it was back in I don't know, maybe it was back in Leviticus or Genesis, but they actually could buy their freedom after 7 years or something like that. But definitely wasn't the slavery that was put upon us here in the transatlantic slave trade. Different kind of slavery, very harsh, very cruel, very inhumane. For it is the Jubilee, it shall be holy unto you. You shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In the year of this Jubilee ye shall return every man unto his possession. And if thou sell aught unto thy neighbor, or buyest aught of thy neighbor's hand, ye shall not oppress one another. Now notice that. In the year of this Jubilee ye shall return every man unto his possession. So, and if they came in, there was something. Every man should have what he worked for. Give him his possession. And if thou sell aught unto thy neighbor, or buyest aught of thy neighbor's hand, you shall not oppress one another. Don't price gouge. Don't put them down if you don't have the money. Give them the land. You increase yourselves for 6 years. According to the number of years after the Jubilee, thou shalt buy of thy neighbor, and according to the number of years of the fruits he shall sell unto thee. According to the multitude of years thou shalt increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of years thou shalt diminish the price of it. For according to the number of the years of the fruits doth he sell unto thee. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear thy power, for I am Yah your power. Wherefore ye shall do my statutes, and keep my judgments, and do them. Ye shall dwell in the land in safety. That's important. You want to dwell in the land in safety. As long as we're doing according to what the Most High says, He'll keep us. He'll be happy. He'll look upon us and see that we're not oppressing each other. We're loving each other, and we'll be the holy people that He want us to be. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat your fill, and dwell there in safety. And if ye shall say, what shall we eat the 7th year? Here's the question. If we're not reaping, if we're not sowing, how are we going to eat in the 7th year? Behold, we shall not sow, nor gather in our increase. Fleshly question. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years. Boom. See how the Most High works, man? So you don't have to be this millionaire, billionaire type. The Most High will take care of you. You work hard for those 6 years, and you got a whole year to rest. And the Most High will even increase what you have in that 6th year for 3 years. So you'll be good for the year to come that you don't have to work, and then 2 years after it. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat yet of old fruit, until the 9th year, until her fruits come in. Ye shall eat of the old store. The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine, for ye were strangers and sojourners with me. And in all the land of your possession ye shall grant a redemption for the land. If thy brother be waxen poor, so if somebody's poor, and have sold away some of his possessions, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. So if you got a brother out there that's poor, not doing so well, not doing it, and you got kin folks and come and can kind of buy these things for him, and the kin folks don't buy them for themselves, they buy them for their kin, the one that's poor. The Most High just told you, don't oppress each other. And if a man have none to redeem it, and himself be able to redeem it, then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus unto the man to whom he sold it, that he may return to his possession. But if he be not able to restore it to him, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that have bought it, until the year of Jubilee, and in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return it to his possession. So eventually he will get it. But like I said, you're not supposed to oppress the poor. Okay? And obviously in this book there are always going to be poor. Okay? And it's just the way that the Most High made it. There's going to be poor, and there's going to be some that's well off. But in the same time, just because you're poor and just because you're well off doesn't mean that you have to oppress the poor. And the poor shouldn't be oppressing the poor either. And the well off shouldn't be oppressing the well off, and the well off shouldn't be oppressing the poor. And if a man sell a dwelling house in a walled city, that he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold, within a full year may he redeem it. And if it be not redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be established forever to him that bought it. Throughout its generations, it shall not go out in the Jubilee. So that's good. So if you have kids or something like that, and they can redeem that house will be handed down from generation to generation. And it's kind of the same thing that they did in the slave trade. They got made a ton of money off of us for free labor. And then their kids, whatever possessions they had, they gave it to their next generation. And that generation, when they died off, gave it to the next generation. And that's why they should be ahead right now. And if it not be redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be established forever to him that bought it. through his generations, it shall not go out in the Jubilee. But the houses of the villages which have no walls around about them shall be counted as the fields of the country. They may be redeemed, and they shall go out in the Jubilee. Notwithstanding, the cities of the Levites and the house of the cities of their possession may the Levites redeem at any time. And if a man purchase the Levites, then the house that was sold and the city of his possession shall go out in the year of the Jubilee. For the houses of the cities of the Levites are their possession among the children of Yashar'Allah. But the field of the suburbs of their cities may not be sold, for it is their perpetual possession. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. But the field of the suburbs of their cities may not be sold, for it is their perpetual possession. Okay. Take thou no usury of him, or increase, but fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him the victuals for increase. So you're not supposed to, if you borrow something, if you give something, if you lend something to somebody, don't lend it with interest. Don't do an increase. Do it because that's something, that's your brother, that's what you want to do. You don't charge interest on things. Okay? That's usury. Or it's like, yeah, I'm giving you this, so now you owe me something, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to do that. I am Yah, your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your power. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant. If he is sold to you, don't make him a bondservant. You bought him, just help him out. But as an hired servant, and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. So, when you say like bond servants and stuff like this, or a hired servant, if you have a hired servant, that means that you're actually paying. A bond servant is going to just work. Okay? You're not supposed to treat, in either case, you're not supposed to treat them crappy anyway. Okay? You got Abraham did it all the time. The people is in need. Abraham was always there to help them out. And then shall he depart from thee. Okay, for there are many for they are my servants, which I brought forth by the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen, like we were in Deuteronomy 28. We were sold as bondmen and bondmen. That's different. That means that we were just really slaves, but the way that they did us, man, was like horrible. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy powers. You say no rigor. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen. There you go. And it's the same way the heathen did us, right? They turned the tables. The heathen had us in bondage because of our disobedience. And when we are to have bondmen and bondwomen, they're supposed to be not of Yashar'Allah. They're supposed to be of the heathen, of the nations that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, and they shall be your possession. So the children of strangers, not Yashar'Allah, even though they have adopted our law, statute, commandments, but they're still strangers that sojourn among us, and we can buy them. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever, but over your brethren, the children of Yashar'Allah, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. You're not supposed to do that, like I said, like they did with us. They treated us with rigor and just went far beyond what the rules of slavery were. And if a sojourner or a stranger wax rich by thee, and thy brother that dwelleth by him wax poor, and sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by thee, or to the stock of the stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. So if you got a stranger within Yashar'Allah that buys your brother or somebody in your family, it's up to you to redeem that brother, man. That's Yashar'Allah, but there's rules of slavery. After that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him, or if he be able, he may redeem himself. He can, if he makes up enough money, he can redeem himself. And he shall reckon with him that brought him from the year that he was sold to him unto the year of Jubilee, and the price of his sale shall be according to the number of years, according to the time of an hired servant shall it be with him. If there be yet many years behind, according to him he shall give again the price of his redemption out of the money that he was bought for. See, the thing is, in Deuteronomy 28:68, there was no one to redeem us. You know what I'm saying? We were sold as bondmen and bondswomen, but we didn't have power to redeem any of our ancestors. We had no power. And as yearly hired servant shall he be with him, and the other shall not rule with rigor over him in thy sight. And if he be not redeemed in those years, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, both he and his children with him. For unto me the children of Yashar'Allah are servants. They are my servants, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am your power. I am Yah, your power. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I am Yah's servant. I want to serve him every day. And I learned something here today, man. I learned about bondsmen and bondswomen, which is what we were in the transatlantic slave trade. And then then you read about hired servants. I guess those would be like more indentured servants, but you hire these people to serve you. So that's what we were, man. We was bondmen, just like Deuteronomy 28. That's Deuteronomy 28:68, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It tells you. And Yah shall bring thee into Egypt, which means house of bondage, again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. They are your enemies, man. You see it every day where they're killing us on the streets and everything. You know, you want justice, you know. It's not going to happen. For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you or redeem you. So we had no power at